I spiked the Chardonnay with a digital poison that would crash his empire before the first toast landed. My boss, Victor Hale, had built his fortune on my back, literally, since I'd coded his revolutionary AI while crashing on his couch after he fired me for a crime I didn't commit. Tonight, in the heart of Silicon Valley's snake pit, I'd watch him choke on the truth, even if it meant dragging us both into the abyss. They say in the Valley that ideas are cheap, but execution is everything. Bullshit. Execution is what gets you stabbed in the back by the guy who promised you equity and delivered eviction notices instead. My name's Esther Ruiz, and 5 years ago, I was the wide-eyed coder fresh out of Stanford, convinced that grit and caffeine could bootstrap you to the top. Victor Hale was my ticket. Charismatic as hell, with that silver fox hair and a TED Talk voice that made venture capitalists cream their khakis. He hired me straight out of a hackathon, where I'd prototyped an algorithm that could predict market crashes before the suits even smelled the smoke. "You're a wizard, Esther," he said, clapping me on the shoulder like we were already partners. "We're gonna disrupt the world." Disrupt? Yeah, right. We started in a cramped loft in Soma, San Francisco, the kind of place where the fog rolls in like a bad omen and the rent eats your soul. Victor had this vision, an AI platform called Nexus, designed to optimize supply chains for big pharma. Think predicting drug shortages before they hit ERs, rerouting shipments like a digital bloodhound. It was noble on paper, the kind of tech that could save lives. But Victor? He saw dollar signs. Billions, Esther. We're talking unicorn status. I believed him. Hell, I lived for it. Nights blurred into dawns, my fingers bleeding from keyboard marathons, fueled by Red Bull and his endless pep talks. Family, he'd call us, passing around takeout burritos from the taqueria down the block. The team was small. Me, Jamal the data whiz, and Lena, our UI girl who dreamed of Oscars but settled for pixels. That's when the first crack showed. 6 months in, Victor started vanishing for investor meetings that smelled like strip clubs and coke-fueled brunches. Money was tight, paychecks bounced, and I was couch surfing at his place in Pacific Heights because my studio in the Mission had gone belly up. One night, I stumbled into his office after a 12-hour debug session, and there it was, ledgers on his screen, siphoning startup funds into offshore accounts. Embezzlement, plain as day. Not chump change, hundreds of thousands, funneled to some shell company in the Caymans. My stomach dropped. We were pre-seed. One whiff of this, and we'd be blacklisted from every VC in the Bay. I confronted him the next morning over coffee that tasted like regret. "Vic, what the hell? This could tank us." He didn't flinch, just leaned back in his Eames chair, lighting a cigarillo like we were in a Scorsese flick. "Esther, baby, it's temporary. Bridge loan to keep the lights on. You think these VCs give a damn about ethics? It's survival." His eyes, those piercing blue liars, locked on mine. "You cover for me, and when we hit Series A, you get 20%. Founder's cut. Trust me. Trust him." God, I was 24, drowning in student loans, and he was the father figure I'd never had. My own dad had bailed when I was 10, leaving mom to sling tacos in East LA. Victor? He was stability, promise, the American dream wrapped in a Brooks Brothers suit. So I did it. Falsified the books. Buried the transactions under layers of dummy code I'd written myself. Ironic, huh? A digital grave for his sins. Jamal and Lena never knew. I told them it was accounting tweaks for tax purposes. Victor got his clean audit, charmed the pants off Sequoia Capital, and boom, Nexus was funded. $5 million in the bank. We moved to shiny offices in the Embarcadero, with ping-pong tables and free kombucha on tap. I thought I'd bought in. But Victor? He started phasing me out. Strategic pivot, he'd say, crediting the algorithm to his visionary oversight. My name vanished from pitch decks. Then, one Tuesday in the conference room overlooking the Bay Bridge, he dropped the bomb. "Esther, we're letting you go." His voice was silk over steel. HR drone at his side, clutching termination papers. "Performance issues. Can't have dead weight on the rocket ship." Dead weight. I'd written 90% of the core code while he schmoozed. I laughed, hysterical, choking on it. "Vic, this is my baby. You can't." But he could. And he did. The kicker? Buried in the fine print. A non-compete clause that locked me out of AI for 2 years, plus an NDA thicker than a Kardashian prenup. I walked out with a severance check for 10 grand and a box of my crap. No goodbye burritos. The months that followed were a black hole. I crashed with friends in Oakland, temping as a barista in a hipster joint where tech bros ordered oat milk lattes and ghosted on tips. Nights, I'd stare at my laptop, the ghost of Nexus haunting the screen. But I couldn't touch it. Legally, I'd be sued into oblivion. Victor's emails trickled in at first. Miss you, kid. Doors open if you need a reference. Lies. Then silence. I heard whispers on LinkedIn. Nexus was exploding. Patents filed under Victor's name alone. My algorithm, rebranded as Hail Predict, powering deals with Pfizer and Merck. Millions rolling in. Rage festered like an untreated wound. I started digging late-night rabbit holes on dark web forums and leaked VC memos. That's when I found it, the kill switch. Buried deep in the code I'd written, a backdoor I'd installed as a joke during beta testing, a panic button to wipe the system if things went south. Victor never knew. He was too busy golfing with senators. It was my insurance, my ace. But activating it, that meant nuking not just his empire, but the platform saving lives. Hospitals relying on it for insulin shipments, cancer meds rerouted in real time. Innocent blood on my hands. Still, I planned. Holed up in a dingy Airbnb in the Tenderloin, surrounded by the symphony of sirens and street preachers ranting about the end times. I reverse-engineered a virus, subtle, elegant. Not a full wipe, but a cascade failure. Falsified data streams that would expose every dirty transaction Victor had ever touched, including the ones I'd helped bury. It had hit during the launch gala for Hail Predict 2.0, a black-tie blowout at the Palace of Fine Arts, packed with whale investors and tech press. The who's who of disruption, Elon wannabes, Saudi princes in bespoke suits, Hollywood starlets chasing the next big script about female founders who weren't me. As the date approached, December 15th, a Friday night under a full moon, I felt the noose tightening. Jamal reached out once, voice shaky over burner phone. Esther, what happened? Vic's saying you bailed for a competitor. Lies again. Lena had ghosted entirely, probably bought off with stock options. And me? I bought a dress from a thrift shop in Hayes Valley, crimson red, like spilled ambition, and practiced my smile in the mirror. The one that said, I'm here to celebrate, while my thumb hovered over deploy. But doubt crept in like bay fog. Was this revenge or suicide? Victor had twisted me, sure, but I'd let him. Covered his ass when I should have run. And the fallout? Not just him. Jamal could lose his green card, Lena her dreams. Hell, some kid in Ohio might die waiting for a ventilator part because Nexus glitches. I poured a glass of Napa Cabernet, the kind Victor used to uncork for victory toasts, and scrolled through old photos. Us at Burning Man, dust-caked and laughing. At my birthday, gifting me a MacBook engraved to the real disruptor. Tears hit the screen. Fuck him. Fuck the dream. Tonight, I'd burn it all. The gala loomed like a guillotine. Invites had gone out under my forged alias, Elena Voss, independent consultant. A nod to the woman I'd erased. Security was lax. Tech bros trusted algorithms over humans. I'd slip in, plug the USB into the demo rig, and watch the dominoes fall. Victor's speech was scripted, gratitude to my brilliant team, toasts to innovation without borders. Borders. He'd crossed mine 1,000 times. As I slipped into the dress, zipping it over scars from stress-eaten nights, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Esther, don't. He's got dirt on you too. Jamal. Panic surged. Dirt? The embezzlement cover-up. If the virus hit, it'd drag me down with him. Federal charges, prison stripes in a cell block full of white-collar wolves. I deleted the text, heart hammering. Too late to turn back. The die was cast, American as apple pie and manifest destiny. Revenge wasn't clean, it was a blood sport, and I was all in. Driving across the Bay Bridge that night felt like crossing into purgatory. The city lights smeared into neon halos through the drizzle, Salesforce Tower piercing the sky like a middle finger to dreamers like me. I'd rented a beat-up Prius from some app, ironic, eco-friendly wheels for a scorched earth mission. Radio droned classic rock, Springsteen howling about highways and broken promises. Thunder Road. Fitting. My hands gripped the wheel at 10 and 2, knuckles white as the lies I'd swallowed. The Palace of Fine Arts loomed ahead, its Greco-Roman rotunda lit up like a billionaire's ego. Valets swarmed, ferrying Teslas and Lumbos. I handed over the keys, flashing my invite with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. Ms. Voss? Welcome. The greeter, a perky intern in Louboutins, scanned the QR, green light. Inside, the air hummed with champagne flutes and murmured deals, synergies, disintermediation, words that masked the grind. Chandeliers dripped crystal over marble floors, and waiters in crisp whites circulated trays of caviar blinis and microdosed edibles disguised as truffles. Valley Excess, where a $10 million round bought you moral absolution. I spotted Victor immediately, holding court near the Lagoon View balcony. He looked every inch the kingpin. Tailored Tom Ford tux, Patek Philippe glinting under the lights, arm around a blonde publicist half his age. Laughing that bark of his, the one that sealed deals and broke spirits. Investors orbited him, stiff-jawed men from Kleiner Perkins, women in power pantsuits from Andreessen Horowitz, all nodding like bobbleheads. Jamal hovered at the edge, tie askew, eyes darting. He clocked me first, face paling. A subtle shake of his head, don't. I ignored it, weaving through the crowd, accepting a flute from a passing tray. Bubbles tickled my nose, sharp as betrayal. Lena was there too, transformed. Extensions cascading like a shampoo ad, dress-hugging curves she'd once hidden under hoodies. She air-kissed Victor, oblivious or complicit. Probably the latter. Rumors said she'd been promoted to head of design after I left. Good for her. Or not. I sidled up to the demo station, a sleek podium wired to holographic projectors displaying Nexus's interface, swirling data vortices predicting global flows. My code. Our code once. The USB burned in my clutch, a Pandora's drive. Victor took the stage at 8 p.m. sharp, spotlights bathing him in golden hour glow. The room hushed, phones raised like talismans. Ladies and gentlemen, he boomed, voice echoing off the dome. Tonight, we don't just launch a product. We launch a revolution. Applause rippled, polite at first, then thunderous. He paced, gesturing to screens blooming with testimonials. Saved 10,000 lives in the opioid crisis reroute. Lies wrapped in stats. My stats. And none of this happens without vision. Without risk. Without family. Family. The word landed like a gut punch. Eyes scanned the crowd, did he know? No. His gaze slid past me, Elena Voss blending into the throng. As he droned on, pivot stories, moonshot metaphors, I slipped closer. The podium's USB port winked invitingly, guarded only by a velvet rope and a bored tech from the AV crew. Heart slamming like a bass drop at Coachella, I ducked under, murmuring, "Quick fix on the sink." He waved me through, yawning. Fingers trembling, I slotted the drive. A soft click, then the interface flickered, subtle, just a loading spinner. Phase 1, infiltration. The virus would burrow, rewriting ledgers in real time. Victor's speech peaked. He'll predict 2.0. Unleashing AI's full potential. Who's ready to change the world? The room erupted. I retreated to the shadows, nursing my drink, watching. At first, nothing. Smooth demo. Holograms danced, predicting a mock flu outbreak reroute. Investors leaned in, murmuring approvals. Victor beamed, clinking glasses with a silver-haired whale who looked like he'd invented greed. Then, the glitch. A screen stuttered, numbers cascading wrong. Offshore accounts blooming like pop-up ads. Gasps rippled. Technical hiccup, Victor chuckled, waving it off. But it spread, projections warped, embezzlement trails lighting up like Christmas trees. My buried codes, exhumed. The crowd murmured, phones buzzing with alerts. What the? A VC barked, scrolling furiously. Jamal bolted for the podium, whispering urgently. Victor's face. Oh, that face, cracked. The smug mask slipped, revealing the rat beneath. He grabbed the mic. Folks, a prank. Hackers, you know how it is. Laughter forced. But the damage bloomed. Emails pinged. SEC notifications, board memos leaking like sieves. Investors shifted, whispers turning to huddles. The blonde publicist peeled away, dialing frantically. Lena stood frozen, clutched to her chest, eyes finding mine across the room. Recognition dawned. Horror, then fury. She mouthed, "You bitch." I should have run then. But the high, the raw, electric thrill of it, pinned me. Victor scanned the crowd, eyes locking on me like heat seekers. Esther. The name hung, a guillotine blade. Silence crashed. Heads turned. The silver-haired VC frowned. Who? Victor laughed, but it was tinny, off-key. Old colleague. Must be a misunderstanding. Colleague. The word ignited me. I stepped forward, heels clicking like countdowns. No, Vic partner. The one who built this from scratch while you played golf with ghosts. Chaos erupted. Questions flew. Is this true? IP theft. As the holograms fully betrayed him, my original commit logs, timestamps glaring. Victor lunged off stage, grabbing my arm in a vice. Up close, his breath reeked of scotch and panic. You crazy? This tanks everyone. I wrenched free, voice steady as a surgeon's cut. You tank me first. Remember the books? The bridge loan? I carried that for you. And you fired me like trash. The room spun into frenzy. Security hovered, but investors blocked them. Curiosity outweighing protocol. A reporter from TechCrunch Live tweeted, Nexus scandal. Jamal hovered, torn. Esther, stop. Please. But I couldn't. The virus hit phase 2. Live feeds of Victor's Cayman's wires. My falsified entries glowing red. Accessory, he'd call it later. But in that moment, catharsis. Victor's face twisted, charmed to rage in a heartbeat. You ungrateful. I made you. Made me. Into what? A ghost? He flipped then, masterful as ever. Spun to the crowd, voice cracking with feigned vulnerability. She's right. I took shortcuts. For the dream. Esther's the genius here. This is her night. Gasps, murmurs. Was it contrition or chess? Investors softened. Valley loves a redemption arc. The VC clapped Victor's back. Shit happens. Fix it, and we're still in. My stomach soured. He'd twist this too. Paint me the villain, the jilted ex-employee with a grudge. Lena sidled up, hissing. You just killed us all. For what? Pride. Pride. Or justice. The lines blurred as sirens wailed outside. Cops? SEC? The gala dissolved into exodus, heels scattering like roaches. Victor cornered me by the lagoon, water lapping black and oily. Esther, we can spin this. Come back. 50%. His eyes pleaded, but the schemer lurked. I laughed, bitter as almond. Too late, Vic. The drive's fried. It's over. But was it? As I slipped into the night, rain sheeting down, my phone lit up. Jamal's text. He's got proof. The cover-up. You're going down too. Proof. Emails I'd sent, logs I'd faked. The secret I'd buried wasn't buried anymore. Revenge tasted like ash. I'd won the battle, but the war? That was just starting. And in America, winners still end up broke and alone, staring at bridges that promise escape but deliver only echoes. The fallout hit like a Category 5 through the Bay Area. By dawn, Nexus Gate trended harder than a presidential tweet storm, Wired dropping exposés faster than a dealer slinging Adderall at South by Southwest. I holed up in that Tenderloin Airbnb, blinds drawn against the gray light, nursing a hangover that felt like karmic justice. News feeds looped gala footage. Victor's face crumpling mid-toast, my crimson dress a scarlet letter in pixelated glory. Comments sections ignited. Girl boss revenge from the feminists. Corporate sabotage. Lock her up from the bro contingent. Polarized, just like I'd engineered. No heroes, only shades of fuckery. Victor moved first, slick as ever. Press release by 10 a.m. Nexus Core acknowledges contributions from all team members, including former lead developer Esther Ruiz. An internal review is underway. Contributions. Like I'd baked cookies, not birthed the beast. He lawyered up with Cooley LLP, the Valley's White Knights for Tech Titans, and leaked concerns about my erratic behavior post-firing. Mental health stigma, served hot. My inbox. A war zone. Recruiters ghosting, old profs from Stanford disavowing. Even mom in LA texting, Mija, what did you do? I didn't reply. What could I say? Just upholding the meritocracy, ma. Jamal called at noon, voice muffled like he was in a wind tunnel. Esther, Jesus. SEC's raiding the offices. Lena's flipping. Says you'll take the fall for the books. Flipping. The word curdled. Lena, who'd cried on my shoulder over imposter syndrome, now trading my neck for hers. Tell her I get it, I said, throat tight. Survival. He paused, static crackling. Vic's offering immunity. If you recant. Say it was a hack, not you. Recant. Like I was some heretic at the Inquisition. And the truth. Jamal sighed. Truth's flexible here. You know that. I hung up, pacing the threadbare carpet, ghosts of the gallery playing. Victor's plea by the lagoon, 50%. Half a kingdom for my silence. Tempting, in the dead of night when doubt gnawed like termites. What if I took it? Reclaimed my code, spun the narrative. Plucky founder returns, exposes bad apple, saves the company. Hero arc. But no, the virus had metastasized. By evening, Bloomberg reported halted shipments. A Chicago hospital short on chemo drips. A Texas clinic rationing antibiotics. Lives teetering because of my justice. Twitter mobs split. Justice for Esther versus boycott Nexus, with bots amplifying both. Controversy, check. But the body count, that was on me. Night fell, city pulsing with neon veins. I couldn't stay put. Feds would trace the IP soon. Packed a go bag, laptop, passport, the last of my severance, and hit the streets, hood up against the drizzle. BART to Oakland, then a Greyhound north, toward wine country anonymity. But Victor? He was steps ahead, always the chess master. A black SUV tailed me from the station, sleek as a predator. Hard in my throat. I ducked into a taqueria off Telegraph, the kind with formica tables scarred like old wounds. Tacos al pastor, extra cilantro, comfort food for the damned. He slid into the booth opposite, uninvited. Victor Hale, disheveled for once. Tie loose, stubble shadowing that jawline. No entourage, just him and a manila envelope thick as accusations. Esther, we need to talk. His voice was low, urgent, no stage bark. I forked a bite, chewing slow. Talk, or threaten. He slid the envelope over. Inside, printouts. My emails to him, 5 years back. Vic, I'll handle the entries. Just keep us flying. Forged? No, authentic as sin. You think I didn't keep records? For protection. Protection. His or mine. Sign this, he said, producing a confession draft. Admit the virus was revenge porn. I'll bury the books. We both walk. I scanned it, while rising. Full admission, I'd coded Nexus, but exited voluntarily. The embezzlement? Mutual misunderstanding. And the kicker? A clause assigning all IP to him, forever. You're offering scraps from your plate. He leaned in, eyes softening, that old charm flickering. I'm offering salvation. For both of us. Think about Jamal's family, Lena's career. The patience. Patience. The hook in my gut twisted. Screens from the news. A nurse in scrubs, tear-streaked, blaming corporate greed for a kid's delay. My greed? Or his? The diner hummed around us. Truckers nursing coffee. A couple arguing in hushed Spanglish. American tableau. Dreams deferred over diner grease. Victor's hand covered mine, warm, paternal. I fucked up, kid. Took you for granted. But this? He gestured vaguely at the world outside. We built it. Don't tear it down. Built it. Together, in the loft, before the vultures circled. Flashback hit. Him teaching me to pitch, late-night riffs on ethics and code. Had it all been manipulation? Or genuine? Soured by ambition? I pulled away. You stole my life, Vic. For millions. He winced, real or not. And I'd do it again. That's the game. But you? You're better. Walk away a martyr, or join the winners. Winners. The word echoed, hollow. Outside, the SUV idled, a shadow play of loyalty. I stood, tossing cash on the table. Tell Jamal I'm sorry. His face fell, genuine hurt. Esther, wait. But I didn't. Bolted into the alley, pulse thundering, hailing a lift to the bus depot. As Oakland's grit blurred past, doubt crested. What if he was right? The twist gnawed. In exposing him, I'd exposed myself. The feds would come, not for him alone, but for the accessory who'd enabled it all. Prison? Or worse, oblivion, blackballed, unemployable, a cautionary tale in startup lore. But running? That was surrender. The Greyhound lurched north, wine country hills rolling like drunken waves. I pulled up code on my laptop, residuals from the virus, a final tweak possible remotely. One command, abort the cascade, restore the ledgers clean. Save the shipments, save the lives. But seal Victor's fate solo? No, my name would surface in the logs. Or, rewrite history, pin it all on him, erase my tracks. Controversial call, mercy for the innocent, or full scorched earth. Hours ticked, Napa vines blurring into midnight. Phone died. Good, no more ghosts. At a rest stop near Calistoga, under sodium lamps buzzing like regrets, I typed. Fingers flew, a digital exorcism. Aborted the failsafe. Rewrote the confessions to his solo doing. My cover-up? Vanished into ether. Nexus would limp on, saving lives. Victor? Ruined, but not dead. And me? Free, but forever the ghost who almost pulled the trigger. Dawn broke over Sonoma, pink as fresh wounds. I stepped off the bus in a nowhere town, air thick with earth and second chances. No empire, no revenge high, just quiet. Victor's texts piled up later, from a burner. You did it. Thank you. No apology, just acknowledgement. Jamal, clear. Come home. Lena? Silence, as it should be. Was it victory? Or capitulation? Readers, you decide. Did I reclaim my soul? Or just delay the inevitable? In America, revenge isn't a blaze. It's a slow burn, leaving you wondering if the ashes were worth the fire. I hitched a ride west, toward the coast, where the Pacific swallows secrets whole. The end? Nah, just intermission.